What's one thing that you would like to see Black men as a whole embrace more?
I want to see us as men love on ourselves, really pour into ourselves. The same way you groom yourself, you go to the barber and get a haircut and it makes you feel good. The same way that mental stimulation that you can get from a therapist or from pouring into yourself, making yourself feel good, spending time developing this can give you the power you need to develop this so that you can develop and have that relationship that is loving, that's full of embrace, that's full of warmth. You know, because when you feel good, you project that, and then everybody else around you will feel good.
Being vulnerable when it comes to expressing love. There's this stigma around Black men, boys don't cry, and you gotta be tough. And I think there's beauty in expressing love or expressing intimacy towards other Black men. It creates a safe space for us to do it with ourselves, which allows us to be able to do it with everybody else.
I think they were saying that a lot of men, when they grow up to like 50 or 60, they don't have a lot of friends. So I want men to embrace pouring into their male and female friendships, right? Because I think as we get older, we just assume the position of your father, your son, you're like a husband, and we kind of go into autopilot and we don't keep in touch with our emotions. Like, find ways that is good for your mental health. Tapping with your homies other than just talking about women and cars and clothes. Like, actually like check on them and just have more impactful reciprocal relationships in your life, and then things just like get better.
I had mentioned this not too long ago on a podcast with Brandon Frame. You don't see a lot of Black men going out to enjoy themselves without the company of women. It can be as something as simple as a poetry show or comedy show. It doesn't have to be a party. It doesn't have to be a happy hour or a brunch. It could be a museum. Like, why is it that we don't see Black men just going out to museums and talking about the art? It would be dope to see more Black men just going out and enjoying the company of each other. That would be really, really nice to see in the near future.
I think I would love to see other Black men embrace finding out who they truly are outside of their environment. One of the blessings that I've been able to have is traveling to different obscure places and not have contact with anyone else and figure out things that I truly like, people that I truly like to be around, and the things that I want to invest in for myself. I was in Odessa, Texas one time, and I realized like, I like hiking, and I'm listening to like songs that I used to like on Z100, and I'm okay with it. I'm blasting it, with no judgment, because I'm not in an environment where I'm around other things. I'm truly liking those things for myself. So I think I want to encourage a lot of Black men to find out who they truly are and what they might like outside of the environments that they're in.
I want to see us embrace our joy more. We definitely are hard on ourselves. I think once you get to a level of maturity where you have to provide and you actually have the capacity to, you just hit the ground running. And a lot of the times we forget ourselves. We don't really know what self-care is. My stepfather, I asked him one day, what do you do to take care of yourself? And he didn't know what the term self-care was. And so I felt the need to encourage him to just do random stuff, explore what self-care is, explore what your joy looks like. I think we can embrace more of the things that make us happy.
Yo, collaboration. I've been talking about this all week. I'm heavy on 2 brains is better than 1, or 3 or 4. Like, I think specifically, I just told one of my friends, like, yo, it's better that I think one way, you think another way, another person thinks another way, this person thinks that way. It should be able to fit in the same room versus some people stepping on it and thinking like, we got to move that person out the way. I think everybody having their own opinion. I think Black men need to just kind of like lock arms and just kind of, Black men need to lock arms. Shout out to Dr. Umar. I'm not even being funny right now, but like, I've heard him say collaboration over competition. And I think we really need to lock in on collaboration for sure.
I would like to, as a whole, see Black men embrace emotional reflection and introspection more. Emotion doesn't mean soft, and it doesn't mean it has to be soft. Sometimes that emotion that a man can embrace can be anger, and it can be the need to go like boxing. It can look like basketball. It can look like gaming. You see these conversations online in jest about, partners upset that they man are always on the game. Well, that's his self-care. Self-care for a man doesn't have to be bubble baths and facials. It doesn't have to look like for you the same way it looks like for another man, or the same way it looks like for our feminine counterparts. Whatever self-care looks like for you, embrace that and acknowledge it as self-care, as something that you do for self-care and for your health and well-being, and that it's not an impediment to you in any way.
I would love to see black men embrace not arguing with women on the internet. That's what I would love to see. Like, I think so many of our problems, this gender war era that we living in, so many of our problems could be fixed if we just stop arguing with them. Even if we disagree with them, I think it's literally counterproductive to be arguing with women online because it just further feeds into the case of what they think about us. Go find your flock of people and be aligned with them. Stop allowing yourself to be in association with people that don't stand for the values that you stand for. So yeah, that's that on that.
Accountability, crying, being in touch with your feminine polar. We don't get taught from little childhood or being a little kid to hold yourself accountable for your actions. Have standards for yourself. We allow others to either dictate how we should move, or we allow others to take the blame for the stuff that we do to ourselves or to the people around us. So yeah, accountability for sure.
Really, the preface of everything we have set up here, I think black men need to embrace therapy more. Therapy absolutely changed my life. Probably been in therapy for like 3 years, but I feel like just within the black community as a whole, there's such a stigma behind therapy. If you do go to therapy, it's almost like, what's wrong with you? Everyone needs therapy. I wish that stigma would be lifted up from our community, from black individuals, but yeah, that's how it is, unfortunately.
I want more black men to embrace the fact that you don't have to be one way to be a black man. Once we realize that, yes, the world has placed stereotypes on us, once we break that internally, the rest of the world will catch up. And even if they don't catch up, it don't matter because we know. And once we know who we are and why we are without thinking that we have to be one way, our community and the way that we are represented will be so much more richer, so much more stronger because there'll be variety and we will understand why there's variety because we know it's not just one way to be.